Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Brazil football expert now really concerned for Gabriel Magalhaes World Cup prospects. South American football expert Tim Vickery is worried for Arsenal defender Gabriel Magalhaes World Cup hopes. FIFA's showpiece event is just around the corner, with just over 2 months until the opening match. The international break coming up will give national team managers a final chance to assess their squads. Brazil manager Tite has announced his latest 26-man squad, and it's a bad news for Arsenal's South American contingent. All three Gabriels, Magalhaes, Jesus and Martinelli have been omitted by Tite. Jesus has more than 50 caps to his name and has started his Arsenal career superbly. Martinelli is a much more recent arrival into the squad and only has 3 caps to his name. Given his age, it would be less of a surprise if he didn't reach the World Cup. Gabriel Magalhaes, however, was called up by Tite over the summer but failed to make his debut. With the manager now calling up 2 new uncapped defenders ahead of him, his chances now look slim. Vickery is now worried that Gabriel may not make Tite's final World Cup squad. Speaking in his ESPN column, Vickery said, with his left foot and his leadership qualities, Gabriel Magalhaes had looked like a lock for the 4th centre-back spot. Magalhaes has not yet had an opportunity to play, but he has been part of the squad. Has Magalhaes definitely been overtaken by the 2 newcomers? Before the call-up, it might have been thought that these friendlies were the ideal opportunity for Tite to have a look at him in a match situation. To be left out at this stage is not a good sign. The 2 defenders Vickery mentions are Roger Ibanez of Roma and Bremer of Juventus. Tite is clearly keen to assess the Italian-based pair. Brazil face Ghana and Tunisia at the end of the month, and Gabriel will surely have an eye on how well they perform. All Gabriel can do now is continue to put in quality performances for Arsenal. The Gunners are top of the table, with the 24-year-old defender starting every match so far this season. Arsenal boss responds to Bernd Leno's criticism. Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta had been left really surprised by comments ex-goalkeeper Brend Leno made about his exit from the club. The now Fulham keeper fell down the pecking order behind Ramsdale in the 21-22 campaign and only made 1 Premier League game after the end of August. With his deal set to expire in 2023, the Gunners accepted a cut price fee from Marco Silva's side for the sale of Leno, who was relegated to 3rd choice behind Matt Turner this summer and made an expected exit 4 years after arriving from Bayer Leverkusen. The Gunners only received an upfront payment of £3 million for the Germany international, which could rise to £8 million if all add-ons are hit, and he recently claimed that politics played a part in his departure. When I realized that it wasn't about performance or quality, I knew that I had to go, Leno told Sport Bild. In preparation, I saw that it's not about performance, but only about politics. It was clear to me I had to get out of here, Leno added. The most important thing for me is to find my rhythm again, especially after I wasn't actually able to train properly at Arsenal and had no preparation. It's up to me to get the focus back on the national team, Leno ended. I'm really surprised, and I don't know if he's talking about the politics when he was starting every match or when he wasn't playing. Really surprised about it, Football London quotes Arteta as saying, Watts believes one Arsenal player did himself no favours after Europa League performance. Goal.com correspondent Charles Watts is unsure about Arsenal goalkeeper Matt Turner after his Gunners debut. The journalist was speaking on his YouTube channel about Arsenal's opening Europa League match. Watts, an Arsenal fan himself, gave his verdict on a number of Arsenal's fringe players after the match. Turner joined Arsenal from New England Revolution this summer after a £5.1 million deal was agreed back in February. The 28-year-old was brought in to compete with Aaron Ramsdale after Bernd Leno and runner Alex Runnarsson left the club. The American has already impressed Arteta since his arrival in England but failed to have the same impact on Watts. Arsenal fan Watts was unsure about his performance after the full-time whistle. Matt Turner was an interesting one. I thought he started off pretty shaky, Watts said. There was a couple of moments with the ball at his feet and once he was trying to claim a cross. It was just after he'd sort of had that bit of an issue with the ball at his feet when, to be fair, Gabriel didn't help him with the back pass, but he just looked a bit nervy. As the game went on, I thought he improved Turner. He got a little bit of confidence. He came out and claimed a couple of decent crosses. He didn't really have to do anything in terms of shot stopping because they didn't really threaten or have many shots on target, but they did deliver a few decent balls towards the end. I thought Turner sort of improvement on that as the game went on, but I think certainly the jury's is still out on him a little bit. We are gonna have to watch him a little bit more during this Europa League campaign to get proper judgment on just what sort of player he is. Arsenal on loan prodigy now has 5 goals and 2 assists from last 6 games. Arsenal boast a fierce front line at present, featuring the likes of Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe and Marquinhos. And soon there could be another superb addition to that attacking setup, Folarin Balogun. The Arsenal Academy graduate has long been deemed one of the top talents to emerge from Hale End. However, Balogun's loan spell at Middlesbrough last season proved disappointing. The Gunners at Jim managed just 3 goals in 18 games as Boro missed out on the championship playoffs. But now it's a completely different story for Balogun, who is absolutely tearing it up at Rams. The 20-year-old joined the League One side on a straight loan deal in August. Balogun hit the ground running, registering 3 goals and 1 assist in his first 3 league games. Though he didn't score or assist against Lyon, he then grabbed 2 goals and assists in the next 2 matches. To date, Balogun has a staggering 5 goals and 2 assists from his opening 6 games of the campaign. He is currently joined 3rd in the League One scoring charts behind Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. The Arsenal talent is walking on water, wrote Ouest France as they listed the 5 revelations of the season so far. Brighton want to hand Arsenal target Caicedo a new contract. Brighton want to hand Moses Caicedo a new contract amid interest from the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, according to a report from the Daily Mirror. There is a lot of uncertainty surrounding the Seagulls right now. Brighton are amongst the early pace setters in the Premier League, but obviously they are now looking for a new manager after Graham Potter's departure. However, the new manager will have an impressive squad to work with, and one of the most exciting talents in the ranks is Caicedo. The 20-year-old has completely stepped out of Yves Bissouma's shadow since the Mali international left for Spurs, and with that, plenty of sides are keen on a deal. The Daily Mirror reports that he has admirers at Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool and now Chelsea following Potter's appointment. Caicedo still has almost 3 years left on his contract, but Brighton want to hand him fresh terms in the hope of bringing him in line with some of the first team players at the Amex Stadium. It has been suggested elsewhere that he is earning less than £10,000 a week at present. Brighton have done some amazing business in the transfer window in the last few years, so they will be realistic about what the future may hold for Caicedo. If he continues on his current trajectory, his departure is likely at some stage in the coming years, but they can look to ensure that they keep him for as long as possible, and that they receive the best fee possible when the times does possibly come to sell him. Potter previously suggested that a £100 million would not be enough to do a deal, and he should only get better from here. He is a fantastic talent. It says everything that he has the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea monitoring his situation after 14 games in the Premier League. Arsenal and Newcastle set to battle it out to sign a Spaniard in January. Arsenal and Newcastle are set to battle it out to sign Benfica left-back Alex Grimaldo in January. Grimaldo was heavily linked with a move away from Benfica during the summer transfer window, but a move failed to materialize. The Spanish defender is into his 8th season with Benfica after joining from Barcelona as a youngster. Despite staying at Benfica beyond the summer transfer window, Grimaldo could still have left the club with a January move being lined up by both Arsenal and Newcastle. That's according to Tutto Juve, who claim that Grimaldo could be available for just 10 million euros in January. Due to the injury record of Kieran Tierney, bringing in a new left back could be of interest to Arsenal, especially at the reported price of just 10 million euros. Alexander Zinchenko was brought in during this summer, but Mikel Arteta might look to move him into a midfield role in the future, where he began his career. The Gunners were linked with a move for Grimaldo in the summer before moving for Ukrainian left back Alexander Zinchenko, with Tavares joining Marseille on a season-long loan. However, Grimaldo's versatility could appeal to his compatriot. The 26-year-old defender is capable of featuring further up the field on the left-hand side and has even debuted in central midfield, an area where the Gunners are short on a handful of occasions. However, should the North London Giants want to win the race for Grimaldo's signature, the report adds that they will have to fend off interest from Newcastle and Juventus in January. Grimaldo left Barcelona's youth setup in January 2016 to join Benfica, where he has scored 20 goals and provided 52 assists in 259 games across all tournaments. Signing Grimaldo would not be a necessity, but having him around would not do harm. Premier League star Douglas Luiz tells friends he wants to join Arsenal. Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz has reportedly told friends he wants to join Arsenal in January after a move failed to materialize during the summer transfer window. After losing Thomas Partey and Mohamed El-Neni to injury during the latter stages of the summer transfer window, Arsenal explored the option of bringing in a midfielder. Fabrizio Romano recently confirmed to Cult Offside via his Substack column that Arsenal made a late move to try and sign Aston Villa midfielder Luiz during this summer. However, Arsenal pulled the plug in the end, but the Brazilian midfielder still appears to be keen to join the club in the near future. According to Football Insider, Luiz has told friends he wants to join Arsenal, with the Gunners looking to pursue a deal in January. With Luiz's contract expiring at the end of the season, Aston Villa are in a difficult situation. If Luiz wants to leave the club, he is able to run down his contract and leave on a free transfer, so Aston Villa could be forced to sell him to Arsenal in January for a cutback price or risk losing him for nothing. Journalist now says Arsenal man will play a huge role in signing Danilo. Arsenal would have come away from the end of the transfer window disappointed not to have signed a midfielder. There was a deadline day scramble at the Emirates to find a reinforcement, but nobody arrived. Now, journalist Petty O'Rourke via Give Me Sport has given an update on one of Arsenal's targets. Mikel Arteta's side were interested in Palmeiras midfielder Danilo in the final hours of the window. A move never materialized, but O'Rourke believes Edu will play a huge role in signing Danilo in January. It will play a huge role, I think Edu's connection in Brazil, O'Rourke said. Danilo has been a top target for Arsenal, I think, in the last window as well. Arsenals believe that they are the favourites to sign Danilo going forward and has previously been compared to Gilberto Silva. Arsenal fans are already well aware of Edu's influence in Brazil. The Brazilian technical director has already used his scouting network to unearth several gems. Gabriel Martinelli is now a regular first-team player for Arteta after being picked up from Ituano. This summer, Marquinhos has also made his way to the Emirates from Edu's homeland. The 19-year-old has already impressed Arteta and scored on his debut in the Europa League. If you add Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Magalhaes to the mix, Edu's track record of signing Brazilian has been fantastic. Arsenal fans will have every confidence that Edu has picked the right man in Danilo if they do sign him. As O'Rourke states, it's likely that Edu will play a huge role in bringing Danilo to the Emirates if he does sign. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.